You did that very satisfyingly.
I did.
Alright, in today's video we're going to be putting a bumper on a 21 Gladiator. I really wasn't looking to put a bumper on this truck, but I kind of hit a deer and messed up the factory bumper. Got relatively lucky, to be honest, because it didn't get into the grill, didn't get into the fender. You know, no real body work to be done, just replacement of a bumper. I've had it on the truck for about 3 months now. Seems to hold up okay. I like the way it looks. I think if I was going to be seriously off-roading with this vehicle, I would want a little bit different bumper though. You know, it's built fine as far as appearance and an improvement over the factory bumper, but you know, if you're going to really be beating on it hard, it could be built a little bit more sturdy. I do like the fact that you can use your factory fog lights over in it. So that's kind of a plus to me. Other than that, I mean, this video isn't put together the best. Me and my dad were just installing this one evening after work real fast. So it's a little bit hard to watch in some places, but it covers the installation of this bumper pretty well. Price point for the money, it's a really good bumper. This is like $350 on eBay. So, not bad. I guess time will tell how well the powder coating finish holds up on it, but that's just about anything you buy. So, enjoy the video, and thanks for watching. Alright, so the first step of this assembly process seems to start with the winch plate. So we're going to drop it in. Going to start these bolts by hand. Alright. So here's where those bolts go, on the inside of the frame rail. On each side, you took those apart disassembling the factory bumper. In your hardware kit, you have 2 bolts to use for the 2 factory bolts that we just used there, but we're just using the 2 factory bolts. But the kit does come with them. They're these, what is it, 3/4 inch, 1 inch, number 10s. Alright, next thing we're going to do is put this splash guard back on here. I would assume that this is an optional thing. If you want to put it back on or you don't. I'm going to put it back on just for a little bit more protection. Where this Eco Diesel has a lot of stuff going on up in here as far as radiator. Anything to deflect a stick will work. So it's got these 2 tabs. You slide down in the end of the frame horn, or sway bar mount on the frame. Push it down into place. And then we're just going to put a little anti-seize on our 2 factory bolts. Next step is we're going to put our factory fog lights into the bumper that we're putting on the truck. You got 4 7mm screws that hold each one of these light housings on. Alright, that's how you remove those. Alright, so next we're going to remove our wiring harness from the factory bumper. This is the passenger side. So the side with 2 plugs is the passenger side. Side with 1 plug, driver's side. Don't really know why we're saving these clips. Alright. We're going to go on to the other side of the bumper. Alright, now you want to be careful not cutting wires, but there's nowhere on that new bumper to put these pop-in style clips, so we're going to cut all these off the wiring. Now we're going to install our factory fog lights onto this rugged ridge bumper. This is the bottom of the bumper, this is the top. Adjuster goes to the bottom on the factory, so it's going to go to the bottom on this bumper. They provide you with a bunch of little Allen cap screws and a small Allen wrench. The nut size on the back is 7 millimeters. You can take a little bit of anti-seize, put on there. That's probably way too much. Drop our screw down through the hole. Get another washer and a nut. And this is going to be for someone with really small hands. Be a good job for a kid. Okay, we got the lights in there. This factory light bracket was broke where I hit the deer, so we glued it together for the time being. Probably replace these down the road. Need to get a bulb and stick in it. That hardware is really small. It's probably pretty beneficial to do that. Install the factory lights or whatever aftermarket lights you're going to put in it before you mount it on the truck. And it's good to have a friend to help tighten those up. So, or unless if you have baby size hands, it might be a little easier. Anyway, next step, we're going to be putting the bar on the top of this thing. Okay, next thing we're going to do is install this push bar. That's for your side. You got these brackets that come with it. It's part of the kit. It's got some nuts welded on it. They go on the underneath side of here. Line it up. Little anti-seize on your bolts. Drop them through. They provide you with this Allen wrench. This is the appropriate size. And we're going to go ahead and get these started and tighten down. We got the push bar mounted on the bumper, and now we are ready to install it on the truck. So we're going to carry this over there and start test fitting everything together. Alright, once you get the bumper set up in here, first thing you're going to do is start these 4 bolts on top. Not going to tighten them up, just going to get them started. So, getting some anti-seize on the other 2 there. Okay, on this side, we're going to just assemble everything from the outside perspective. Then when we do the other side, we'll show you what's going on the back side. So, to start, you're going to need 4 of the 8 half-inch bolts that are provided, and I just had 2 nuts in my hand and 2 washers and 4 washers. Put a washer, bolt through. You're going to need 8 washers for each side and 2 nuts for each side. Should come in the supplied parts kit. So there's your D-ring mount. Push everything through like so. You're going to need a nut plate, factory bracket for the outside of the frame, hold it back in here in place. I need some anti-seize.
Here.
Not going to need that just yet. And we're going to use the bolts that they gave us.
Okay.
A little anti-seize on there. Our bracket in place.
Which size?
I don't know. Probably
16?
the 19. The 19, or the 18, I mean.
You need a wrench.
No. Alright, got the outside one started. Now we're going to go in with our 2 nuts and our 2 washers. Well, maybe that might be fun to do too. So there's that side started up. Now we're going to go to doing the other side. And I'll show you how we're setting the brackets and the bolts up a little bit closer. Okay, so he's sending the bolts through. Alright. We're going to take our factory bracket, or stabilizer, put through there, and then we have the provided nut plate. Came with the kit for the bumper. We're going to hold it in place if you'll start spinning those 2 old outside bolts. You got to push through farther than that. You're not even through the bumper. There you go. Alright, there's the top one. Now I'll do the bottom one. And there's the bottom one coming through. Oh shit, we forgot to put anti-seize on those. Okay, so there's the top bolt for the inside and the bottom bolt for the inside. What they look like. This is going to be kind of hard to film because that tab in the frame is in the way. I'm going to stick the phone up here and point it down and see if that gets you what I'm doing. Hold in on that bolt. And I'm just barely starting them. I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize behind them. And then we'll run them the rest of the way down when we're ready to tighten everything. Alright, I'll put some anti-seize on those. Then the next and final step will be we need to put the bolt that was provided with the kit back into here, or you can use the original bolts that were in the frame. But since the ones that came in the kit
It's already got stuff.
were painted black, we're going to use them with the washer that was provided. So now that we have everything loosely mounted, we're just going to go around, starting with the 4 Allen head bolts on the top, and tighten those up, and then we're going to come back with the impact and tighten up all these nuts connecting the bumper to the frame. Okay, now that's everything that you need to loosely install for this bumper. Then you need to go back and make sure you tightened these 4 Allen head cap screws. Make sure you tighten the 4 bolts, hold the clevis mounts on each side. Remember to reinstall the outside bolt on this bracket on each side, and the inside bolt that the winch plate is mounted to. So the next thing we're going to be doing is, from underneath the vehicle, we have to reinstall this wiring harness to the back of the 2 factory fog lights, now mounted in the center of the bumper. Originally, this is the output that the fog lights are connected to. It came through here, had a chafe guard. It originates on the inside of the frame, and you have enough slack that you can push it over and stick it through and route it to the inside over here, because as you can see right up there, fingers where that wiring harness comes down and crosses the frame that way. So you're going to bring it back in onto the inside of the frame. Once you have it on the inside of the frame, we're going to hook up the main lead for the fog light wiring harness back into that plug. From there, you're going to take the passenger side hookup, which is this little orange clip. That is for the passenger side fog lamp. And you're going to hook it back into the back of the bulb on the passenger side. Just like so. Now, one of these bulbs are blown, and we put the good bulb in this passenger side light. That way we don't have to mess with where we glued that back together again. And this is the driver's side now, which has a bad bulb in it. So when we turn these on in a minute, that's not going to come on. You're now going to have a whole bunch of extra slack in this wiring harness. But before we address the slack, you're going to take the driver's side plug of the harness, the orange plug, and plug it into the driver's side. Now, as you can see, you have about 3 foot of harness here. That's too long. So we're going to roll this up, and we're going to zip tie it and tuck it back into this bumper so that it's not dangling. Alright, so there we go. The wiring's hooked up. It is just the bulb, because we swapped the bulb that wasn't burning into the one that was, and everything's good there. Everything's tightened up on the bumper. We'll back it up here and see what it looks like. Okay, so there we go for an install for that Rugged Ridge bumper. It took us, what, about an hour to put the actual bumper on? If we weren't piddling around trying to make this video. It's a far more complex process getting the factory bumper off, especially when it's all mangled on one side. But anyway, I mean, it's a shame I hit a deer, but I think that'll be a fine bumper.
Around, you can see the ram.
You know, yeah.
And outside you can see the power wagon. When you hit a deer, it just rolls over.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about a winch bumper on that one. It come with it.
That's the one you hang your deer with after you run over it.
Anyway, he's got a rag on me for his Chrysler products being better than mine. But it's easy enough install. I mean, if you put a bumper on anything, you can put this bumper on. The hardest thing about it was the nut plates for this push bar. They weren't really made the best. Had some issues with getting the threads to line up. But other than that, it was pretty much bolt right on. I mean, you can put your factory headlights in the thing and they go right in. So, y'all have a good one, and we'll see you later. The help wanted to show you his sticker.
It went on an F-350 with a power stroke turbo diesel.
Yeah,
This was the
that sticker is as old as I am, without a doubt. I mean, it's yellowed and crusty.
But that ain't yellow and crusty. That's nice.